Yeah, no, I mean, this is a tough one, but like if you want to get married one day, then you're going to want to probably have a family and you want to give those kids the gift of faith, right? Well, how can you give the gift of faith if you haven't received the gift of faith? And how can you really receive faith unless Christ drags you through a desert alone with him? Because holiness, the only path to holiness is aloneness, not loneliness, but aloneness. That at the end of the day, your suffering is between you and Jesus alone. Yes, you should share it with friends and people like that. You need the fellowship and companionship, but there's a layer to human suffering that is only known between your soul and God. And in these nights and days of loneliness where you're like, wait a minute, God, I thought I'm doing everything right. Like I'm staying away from porn. I'm not hooking up with guys. I'm not doing this. I'm not. And there's no decent guys. And I'm just alone, God, because I know, God, if I were to disobey you, I could have a baby 9 months from now. I could just get on Tinder and find some guy tonight or some dating app and do something stupid and have the baby I want. But I want that child. I want that family, God, but I'm waiting on you, but it's not coming. And sometimes God is speaking to us in that silence and of just trust me, just trust me. And it's hard because like I have been trusting you, God, and I'm waiting for Mrs. Right. But sometimes, as hard as this sounds, sacraments, there's only one sacrament you can worship, is the Blessed Sacrament. You're not allowed to worship any other sacraments, including marriage. And sometimes we make an idol out of the other sacraments. Sometimes we make an idol out of marriage, and we put our peace in that. Once I get that, then I'll find joy. Then I'll find fulfillment. And there's a good, healthy longing for that. That's natural and good, but sometimes we take it too far to the extent that only when I get what I want am I going to have the peace that I desire. And we end up putting on the throne of our heart instead of God, we put our plans there. And when they don't happen in our timetable, then we begin to grasp. And then we try to make things happen on our timetable. But God cannot fill hands that are full. And so trust him, not only with your future or with your past, trust him with today, trust him with your hopes and your dreams, trust him with your wounds, and trust him even with your body. And this is an unmistakable sign of worship, that this deep desire I have for communion and intimacy and sexual joy and all of this stuff, God, you know, you gave me these desires. These are not from the evil one. This is from you, God, and only you can fulfill this most deeply. So God, I put all those desires in your hand and I trust you as my Father. Even though this is like a dark night of the soul, a dark night of the body, God, I'm trusting you and I'm going to walk with you, because maybe there's some things you want me to avoid right now. Maybe there's some things you still want to show me, but to trust and walk in that faith, so that if God does call you to the sacrament of marriage, then you'll have the gift of faith to give to your family, because you've walked through that dark night with just you and Christ alone.